In this lecture, we're going to talk about the pixel art software that I will be using throughout this course. I'm going to be using Piskel, and you can see right here, I've got it up. If you want to use Piskel, the nice thing about it is that it's a web browser-based program, so you can use it in any operating system. Just use it in the web browser, in Chrome, for example. So if you go to www.piskelapp.com, and that's spelled piskelapp.com, you will come up with this. You can go to offline versions if you need to download an offline version and use this pixel art program without the internet. You can do that, and that's available on Windows and Mac OS. Otherwise, actually I need to press log out right here. Otherwise, you're going to press log in. It's going to take you to your Google account emails. You can select an email to log in with. And it will take you to kind of an overview that should have a list of all your saved projects, your public, your private, your deleted projects, and some stats down here. So to get started, to create a new project or a new canvas, I guess, to draw on, you're going to go to Create Piskel. And it should come up with a new window here. You can scroll in and out with the mouse button to zoom. Now, one of the reasons I chose this program is because it's absolutely free. It doesn't have a lot of features to it. It's kind of basic, but it's free, and it has some of the important features that we're going to need. First of all, you can do animations with it. So you can add new frames this way and do animations, absolutely free. It also has layers. Over here you can see we've got layers on this side. So even though it's got only some basics, it has all of the basics. So that's what's important about it. Over here on the left hand side, we've got the different tools. We have a normal pen tool, which has both a left mouse button and a right mouse button for a primary and secondary color. So I can left click right here to draw the primary color, right click to draw the secondary color, which in this case is actually a transparent color, so it erases. But it could be set to any color. Then we've got the vertical mirror pen. This will draw and mirror exactly what you drew on one side. So if you're drawing a spaceship, it's going to be really nice because it will keep everything symmetrical in your pixel art. So that's super useful. And I mean, look, you can draw a pretty cool looking spaceship without even doing anything. We also have the paint bucket tool, which obviously just fills in an entire space with the color you were using. The paint all pixels of the same color. This will only affect the pixels that are a certain color. So if I paint this in, it's going to do all of that because that's all black. But if I had a different color in here, so let me add a different color right here, and I want to paint all the black things blue, I can choose this and it will fill all the black even if they're not connected. So you can see they're not connected anymore, but they're all black, and I can make them all blue still, even if they're not connected. So that's what that does. We have the eraser tool that you can use to erase, pretty basic. Stroke tool, which allows you to draw lines, which is important because you can get nice clean lines. Rectangle tool, pretty obvious, draw rectangles. Circular tool, draw circles. We have a move tool where we can move stuff around on the canvas. A shape selection, which is just, it allows you to select everything that's kind of touching. So you can select that. A rectangle selection. Lasso selection, so you can select a specific lasso type shape if you need. It has lighten and darken, which we're probably never going to use, but if you left click on something, it will try and lighten it a little bit. And then I think if you right click, well, it looks like it still darkens it or lightens it. Oh, shift is cool because then if you hold shift, it doesn't do it quite so randomly. Control, it looks like control darkens if you hold control. So that's not really useful. Dithering, this will just draw, but only at every other line. So we're not going to go into a lot of what that means, but it allows you to basically create a checkerboard. And then finally the color picker, if you missed a color and you need it back, if it's not in your palette, you can color pick to grab that color. Obviously it's best if you just have it in your palette. If you want, you can use the There's hotkeys. If you hover over each of these, it will show you the hotkeys. The selection tool hotkey is S. I'm just going to hit S, select the entire thing, and press delete. And that gets rid of it all. Over here on the right hand side now, we've got our, this is the preview window, which will preview our animation. We currently don't have an animation, but let's create one real quick. So I'm going to do a stick figure guy. Yeah, stick figure guy. Sweet. Okay, so we've got stick figure guy here. And we're going to add a new frame, and you can see it's blinking over here because the preview is actually animated. If we toggle the onion skin, we will be able to see where he was in the previous frame. So let's create a new frame. Using this onion skin, we're going to draw this leg like that leg like that, and this arm like this, and this arm like this, and have his head forwards. And this is the worst animation in the world. But you get the idea, and we can slow this down to 4 frames per second. And he's like maybe doing a dance of some sort here. So we've got an animation with the 2 different frames, and that's what this is for. We could turn off onion skinning now so we can't see it. Now, you also have the ability to do layers, which just, if you needed to for your animation, you could create certain, maybe arms on their own layer, legs on their own layer, to simplify things so you don't have to worry about coloring over things you already like. We probably won't be using that a lot. We also have the transform tools and the palette. Now, I have this basic palette right here that I created. If you do current colors, this does all the colors on the screen currently. We can create a new palette, so let's do create new palette, and this, I'm just going to call this new palette. We've got our colors right here, and we can add a new color and select red maybe, add another color, select green, add another color. I'm just getting some random colors here, and save. So now we've got this new palette. We can choose from the different palettes that we've created here, or we can edit palettes that we've already created just for the colors that we need. Over here on the very far hand right corner, we've got our preferences, what we want the background to look like, layer preview, opacity, grid, if we want to turn on a grid, 2 pixel grid, 3 pixel grid. It just helps you to see the individual pixels easier. You can resize the canvas with an anchor point. You can save this. You can save in your browser to your gallery or save offline. I'd recommend saving both to your gallery and offline. I don't really see the sense in saving in your browser. We can export the sprite as a sheet. This would be if you need to bring this into a game of any sort. And then finally, you can import sprites as well or other images. So that's a basic overview of the program that we're going to be using. Like I said, it's really basic, simple, but it has all the basics that we need, and it's absolutely free and should work for everyone. So that's why I chose it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next lecture.